Now to the latest numbers on the novel coronavirus pandemic here in the tri-state. Cases have jumped across New York with over 1,600 cases, the most in the nation. Cases in New Jersey now at 267. Connecticut has 68 cases. Governor Cuomo says it could be early May before cases peak across New York State.
The number of cases has grown to nearly 1,000. That's in New York City alone. Mayor de Blasio says he may have to order a shelter in place for residents across all 5 boroughs. That a point of contention, though, between the mayor and the governor. We have team coverage this morning today. New York's Tracie Strahan on the Upper West Side with the very latest. Tracie.
Well, Michael and Darlene, people were surprised it got to this point in Manhattan. Not a lot of people on the streets, even right now, for the city that never sleeps. A decision within the next 48 hours from Mayor de Blasio, and with the help of Governor Cuomo, possibly could take things a step further. Let's show you some video now as we talk about the shelter-in-place possibility being floated by Mayor de Blasio. It's something that's similar to something that's already in place in San Francisco. Now, it would require residents to stay home unless they're seeking medical care, getting food, or heading to a job where they're considered to be essential personnel. Now, that kind of mass shelter-in-place possibility for the coronavirus would require state approval, but so far, that possibility has the mayor and Governor Cuomo at odds.
I believe that decision should be made in the next 48 hours, and it's a very, very difficult decision.
It's deep breath time. There's not going to be any quarantine where we contain people within an area or we block people from an area. Individual mobility is what we're all about.
Already, we are seeing the impact from some of the regional rules in place in hopes of flattening the curve of COVID-19. We've seen the banning of crowds over 50, shuttering of gyms, and they've shut down theaters and casinos. As for that restriction on bars and restaurants allowing dine-in service, the city said about 3,000 inspections took place on Monday night when that rule was implemented. Of that, 300 warnings and 3 violations were issued. Again, that's something that's in place indefinitely. We're live on the Upper West Side. Tracie Strahan, today in New York. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Tracie, thank you. Well, we have learned that an NYPD officer in the 1st precinct has tested positive for coronavirus. So right now there are 31 officers out on sick leave. Of that 31, 17 are out sick related to COVID-19. Law enforcement sources tell us they're waiting for results. And right now, New York City teachers are preparing for remote learning. Teachers and principals are participating in professional development on the system until tomorrow. This comes after all schools in the city closed on Monday. Remote learning for students is set to begin next Monday.
Okay, it's 4:05 right now, and in New Jersey last night, indoor malls and amusement parks, they joined the list of closures, which already included theaters, casinos, and gyms. Starting today, all public and private schools across the state, they are closed for at least 2 weeks. And today, New York's Jen Maxfield is live in Hoboken, where residents, Jen, have been asked to self-isolate, and they've been asked to do that.
That's right, Michael. The mayor here is saying they don't want to become the next Italy, and he's asking people to stay home and to limit their gatherings to 5 people. This is one of the more dramatic calls in the tri-state area. Again, asking people to shelter in place or self-isolate, as you put it. We do want to show you some video now from Hoboken last night. Now, of course, the bars and restaurants were already closed except for delivery here in Hoboken, that for the last several days. But the mayor going one step further, saying he was concerned about seeing people around this small city gathering in large groups. So he's asking people now to self-isolate at home. Governor Murphy also asking people in New Jersey to stay home if at all possible. Yesterday, talking about how all indoor retail malls will be closed, all places of public amusement will be closed. This as there are more than 250 people statewide in New Jersey diagnosed with coronavirus, more than 25 cases right here in Hudson County. Now, this shelter-in-place order that again is specific to Hoboken mirrors what we've seen going on the West Coast, where more than 7 million people in the San Francisco Bay Area have been asked to shelter in place. Mayor Ravi Bala here in Hoboken explained his decision.
Whether you feel sick or not, all residents should immediately begin self-isolating at home.
I think people should stay home. We're definitely practicing that, my friends and I.
And that curfew here in Hoboken starting at 10 o'clock at night, ending at 5 in the morning. We haven't seen anyone here at the Hoboken train station right now. Of course, it is early, but people clearly respecting this order to stay home if at all possible. That's the latest live in Hoboken. I'm Jen Maxfield. Michael and Darlene now sending it back to you.
All right, Jen, thanks very much. We'll stay in New Jersey now, Bergen County. Some of the proposed restrictions to slow the spread there, they're on hold until Saturday morning. The county executive says this is to make sure their actions are in line with the state government's orders. The proposals would not allow gatherings of more than 4 people, and it would also close all non-essential businesses.
The pandemic now having an impact on upcoming college graduation ceremonies. Rutgers University and UConn are both canceling their upcoming commencements. Rutgers says a decision on whether their ceremonies can be rescheduled will be made in the coming weeks. UConn says it hopes to find another time and place to honor and recognize its graduating class. In Connecticut, all DMV branch offices are now closed to the public. The agency says employees will continue to report their work locations to help with transactions online. DMV is just one of the many businesses shut down across the state. From Westport to Danbury, drive-up appointment testing is taking place at the hospital. We spoke to one Westport resident who was recently in the company of somebody who tested positive for the virus. She then started getting symptoms and is now in self-isolation.
This is not the end of the world. This is just stay home and we'll figure it out. It's safer for everybody, and you just can't take the chance for people that could get really sick with this.
Lisa says she is now feeling better. She's been tested for coronavirus and is awaiting the results.
Meanwhile, lawmakers in Washington, they're scrambling to soften the economic fallout from the outbreak, if that's possible. The White House laying out a huge stimulus package set to top $1 trillion. This would include direct payments to the American people. It also provides aids to airlines, to hotels, to small businesses. Senate now considering a House-passed bill that provides, among other things, paid sick leave, free coronavirus testing, and food assistance as well.